All right, let's talk about one of the most stubborn, but also one of the most impressive muscle groups you can build, the forearms. If you're tired of them lagging behind and you really want to build some serious size and strength from the elbow down, then you are in exactly the right place. Let's dive in.
Does this sound familiar? I mean, it's such a classic problem at the gym. You're moving heavy weight, you're doing your deadlifts, your pull-ups, but the muscles between your wrist and your elbow, they just refuse to grow. Well, trust me, you are not alone in this, and the reason why is probably not what you think.
And here's why it's something people care so much about. Think about it. When you're just wearing a simple t-shirt, what's visible? It's your neck and it's your forearms. They are a dead giveaway of strength and a clear sign that you train hard. You know, well-developed forearms just create this balanced, powerful look that's impossible to miss.
So what makes them so tough to grow? Well, get this. Your forearm isn't just one or two muscles. It's an incredibly complex system of over 20 different muscles. That's right, 20. So just hoping your big compound lifts will take care of everything, well, that's kind of like a recipe for frustration. We need a much smarter and more targeted plan.
So, here's our game plan. First, we're going to break down the common problem. Then we'll get into the must-know anatomy. From there, we'll dive into specific training for each part of the forearm, and we'll wrap it all up with a super simple, effective plan you can start using like today. Okay, first things first. Let's really dig into why just doing heavy pulling movements isn't the magic bullet for building massive forearms that you might think it is.
And here is the key distinction. When you're doing something like a deadlift, your grip is mostly static or passive. You're just holding on for dear life, right? And when you do a standard bicep curl, your biceps are in such a mechanically strong position that they just take over the show, leaving your forearms underworked. To see real growth, we need to find exercises that put the forearm muscles themselves in the driver's seat.
To train them right, we first have to understand what we're actually working with. It's time for a quick but super important anatomy lesson.
Let's start with the big one. This is the brachioradialis. It's that thick, meaty slab of muscle on the top side of your forearm, right near your elbow. This muscle is the absolute key to building that impressive Popeye-like forearm thickness. And the crucial takeaway here is that it works hardest when your palms are facing down or in a neutral hammer grip position.
Now, besides that big brachioradialis muscle, the two most important movements for your wrist are flexion and extension. It's pretty simple. As you can see here, flexion is when you curl your palm inward toward your forearm. That works all the muscles on the underside or anterior part of your forearm. Extension is the opposite, bending your knuckles backward. That works the muscles on the top or posterior side. If you want complete forearms, you absolutely have to train both of these movements.
All right, let's start with our first target. We're going after the brachioradialis first because, honestly, it delivers the most visible size. It gives you the biggest bang for your buck right out of the gate.
So, if we know that a regular curl doesn't hit this muscle properly, what's the solution? Well, the answer lies in one simple tweak. You just gotta flip your grip. So why does this one little change make all the difference in the world?
The reverse curl is going to be your go-to move here. See, using that overhand grip puts your biceps in a weaker position, which forces the brachioradialis to step up and handle the load. Now here's a pro tip. Try a thumbless grip. That means wrapping your thumb over the bar with your fingers. This makes it a little harder to hold, which forces your forearms to work even harder. And get this, the brachioradialis actually hits peak activation in the top half of the curl, so make sure you squeeze hard at the very top of the movement.
Okay, so we've hammered that big muscle on top for thickness. Now let's build out the rest of the forearm by directly targeting the flexors on the bottom and the extensors on the top.
These two exercises are the absolute bread and butter of forearm isolation. And as you can see, they're basically mirror images of each other. For the dumbbell wrist curl, your palm is up and you're training the flexors on the underside. For the wrist extension, your palm is down and you're hitting the extensors on the top. The key for both of these is total, complete isolation.
And here's the deal. Your ego has no place in these exercises. Using a bench to support your arm is non-negotiable. It's what stops your bicep from cheating and helping out. You need to use a lighter weight and aim for higher reps, maybe in that 15 to 20 range, and really focus on that mind-muscle connection. You should feel a deep stretch at the bottom of the movement and a really powerful squeeze at the top.
Okay, so what if you've mastered the basics and you want to take your forearm development and your grip strength to a truly elite level? Well, it's time to introduce some more advanced tools into your arsenal.
Let's kick things off with an absolute powerhouse of a tool, the wrist roller.
As fitness expert Jeff Nippard says, it's so incredibly effective because it smashes both flexion and extension at the same time. Think about it. As one wrist curls up to roll the weight up, the other is extending. It is a serious forearm burner.
And this is a really crucial concept to understand. Not all grip strength is the same. There's crushing strength, which is that raw squeezing power you train with hand grippers. Then there's pinching strength, the strength between your thumb and fingers, which you can build with plate pinches. And finally, there's support grip, which is just your ability to hold on to something heavy for a long time. That's where things like towel holds come into play. Adding this kind of variety will build a truly powerful and functional grip.
Okay, we have covered a ton of ground. We've gone through the anatomy, the key exercises, and even some advanced techniques. So how do you actually apply all of this stuff? Let's build a simple, effective plan right now.
But first, let's get one thing straight and bust a major myth. You hear it all the time. People blame bad genetics for small forearms because they have skinny wrists. But listen, you can't grow bone. Your wrist size is what it is. The muscles that sit on top of those bones, however, have huge growth potential, but only if you train them directly and intelligently. So let's stop worrying about what we can't change and focus on what we can.
Here it is, your action plan, and it's dead simple. You do not need to do all of these exercises at once. Just pick one or two that target what you think your weak points are. Maybe that's a reverse curl for thickness and a wrist curl for the underside. Then just tack them onto the end of your pull day or your arm day, maybe once or twice a week. And please, always prioritize perfect form over heavy weight. That is the secret to getting real results.
So, there you have it. That is the complete blueprint for turning what might be a weak point into a standout feature of your physique. We've gone from understanding the problem to laying out the specific solutions. The only question left is, where are you going to begin? Are you going to go for that overall thickness with the reverse curl? Or are you going to start building up that crushing grip? The choice is yours.